Podcasts, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the podcast.
There are 4 lights!
Its 5-year mission to explore strange, familiar worlds, to seek out new listeners and new civilizations, to boldly go where most nerds have gone before. Join Matt and Shirley on their 5-year mission with a different guest each week as they talk about an episode of Star Trek, from the original series through Enterprise. They'll cover every episode, eventually.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to There Are 4 Lights. It's just me this week. Shirley couldn't make it again because she's still sick. But I'm here with John Quiet.
Hello.
Of this Nerds Domain something.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Nerds Domain and Mask of Nyarlathotep, in which I star in that one. We play a Call of Cthulhu, an actual play.
Star is a thing you could say, sure.
Yeah. It's in the bumper that you wrote.
This is true. So tell us a little bit about those 2 podcasts.
Well, the Nerds Domain podcast is a rotating format week to week, when we get it out week to week. We do a What You Doing, where we talk about anything nerdy, geeky, and fun that we're into. We keep it sort of focused on movies, podcasts, books, apps on your smartphones. And I'm missing a category. Games, that's the one.
That's a good one for you.
Yeah, it is. So anything new or interesting that we've discovered, we just like to spread the word about it, because we find a lot of people travel in different circles and miss things that we would consider classics and back and forth. So that's that one. We also do a Criterion Collection movie review, where we watch famous movies and talk about them from a relatively uneducated perspective. I say relatively because since we've been doing it, we've learned a lot more about what makes a good movie. And when
Shirley's become very critical. I mean, she went from not critical at all to pretty freaking critical.
Right.
So,
yeah. No, it's been really interesting and eye-opening in some cases. So, and then
immediate movie
reviews where I don't get to participate as often as I'd like because I have 2 kids and going out to see a blockbuster movie is kind of rough. I also work nights, so Friday nights are out for movie watching.
Yep.
But that's fun, where we go watch a movie and then try to record a podcast that night or the next day and get it up. So those of you who don't go out and watch the movie can find out what it's about.
Yep. So we watched an episode of the original series.
Yes.
Do you want to give us the name of that? And,
I've forgotten completely.
Where No Man Has Gone Before.
That's the one.
I was vamping for my own self. To not look it up, I was just trying to remember. So we watched Where No Man Has Gone Before. This is officially the 4th episode.
4th episode on Netflix.
But this is the 2nd pilot.
Is it?
Yes. The Cage was ordered first, and CBS said, I don't like that at all, and had them do changes and brought back this one.
Really?
Yep. So this is the 2nd pilot, but it became like the more regular crew, and you could see more members of the regular crew.
It makes a lot of sense. We'll talk later about the things that I noticed, or that we may have noticed.
Oh yeah.
That now that you said that, those things that are weird make a lot more sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to give us a kind of a plot overview, A to B or A to Z?
Sure. This. Again, because I now know this is a 2nd pilot, this makes a lot more sense. But the story opens up with the Enterprise approaching the edge of the Milky Way galaxy. And forgive me, I forgot to look up the science on this, but at this point in time in history, there was believed to be some kind of energy barrier surrounding our galaxy and keeping things from our galaxy inside of our galaxy. So they are approaching the barrier and, researching other vessels who have attempted to go through it, and they discover there was one and there were some problems, but, they're going to do it anyway because their technology is advanced and they think they can make it. So they go through the barrier, or try to go through the barrier. The ship gets beat up a whole heck of a lot, and I forget, do they turn around and go back?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
this was after they found the SS Valiant's
That's what
memory
made
pod
them
or
want to
whatever.
go out. Yeah, they found a satellite or a computer from the Valiant, the previous ship.
It's essentially the black box.
Right, yeah. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to try and go out there and see what we can find. And they run into the same problems that the Valiant ran into and come back into the galaxy. In the process, several crew members are injured by weird energy spikes. This is different than the standard energies, console explosions and shaky cam injuries that every crew member suffers. But these like 6 or 9 particular.
I think the number was 9 that officially died, and then there were 2. The doctor, who we don't ever see.
Well, no,
again.
no one died on the Enterprise.
Yeah,
they were just injured.
No, they said that they died.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I missed that one then. I thought there were a few deaths, but then a bunch of people were just zapped by the energy. And the main character, Gary Mitchell, a friend and student of Captain Kirk's, he's the most affected, and wakes up from his injuries with silver eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Nobody understands what happened. He starts to exhibit ESP powers. Which, again, back in the day, ESP must have meant something different because he's, not extrasensory, but he's telekinetic. He can...
Yeah, I think it covers all the
any mental powers that we would ascribe to a superhero, he exhibits. He controls ship instruments, his own biology. He kills himself at one point, but he comes back from it because he's completely in control of his own biology. He can move things with his mind. He can sort of influence people with his mind, read minds. And while this is happening, he is becoming more and more megalomaniac-ish, whatever.
Yeah.
And seeing humans as less than important in the universe.
Yeah, and go ahead, and we've been spoiling the crap out of stuff, so we'll get into more of that. But then he goes on to kind of scare everyone. He starts reading things really quick, and he frightens the crew, and Spock suggests killing him or leaving him on a planet. The ship was damaged when they tried to go through the energy thing, so they have to figure out how to fix that.
In fact, their engines were busted. They had to go recharge their engines.
Yeah.
At a fueling depot that was fully automated.
Yeah, so they were going to leave him. The Spock said that Kirk really only had 2 choices: leave him on the planet or kill him. And so they were going to just leave him on the planet, and that goes bad.
Yeah, it does.
So Dr. Denner, Elizabeth Denner, who's a one-time character, she was put on the ship to. What was it? See the reaction of the crew in stressful situations.
Yeah, it's like going through the barrier and out to the in between the galaxies and stuff like that.
Yeah, so she has the second highest score for ESP.
Oh yeah, that was the thing. They all had an ESP score in there. Yeah. Gary Mitchell was the highest on the ship.
Yeah,
and then this Dr. Denner,
Lieutenant Commander Gary Mitchell. He actually was second in charge of the ship.
Was he?
Uh-huh.
That seems a little... Again,
he gets mentioned one time before they even hit the barrier, and that's the last you hear of it.
Well, but Kirk and Spock are palling around so much that it seems odd.
It seems odd.
That he would be the second in command.
You also notice, and we'll get more into this, there were no red shirts.
Yeah, I did. That was that's in my notes.
And Spock was in a gold shirt all the whole show.
Spock... Yeah, he was. He didn't ever put on a blue shirt.
Yeah, so there's some definite... I'm noticing this. This is our 5th episode. There's been some huge, gaps in what I would consider normal continuity.
Right.
Because I think they're still getting their footing.
Yeah, and like you said, this was the second pilot, so that there are a lot of things that make sense.
Yeah.
Or that because of that, Spock is yelling out commands that Kirk just said to a room that's maybe 15 feet wide.
Well, and that's a sub thing.
It is a submarine thing, and then they realize later that's stupid because everybody can hear Kirk say it, and they're supposed to be the super advanced whatever.
Yeah.
They don't need Spock to yell out the orders like that. So
So Dr. Denner is also gets taken over by this
she gains ESP powers.
Yeah, she becomes an Esper.
Yeah.
I like that. I was like, Esper, what? Like,
Yeah.
the first time they said it caught me off guard, but she becomes an Esper and sort of kind of joins sides with Mitchell.
Because as her mind expands, she doesn't see the need for human life the way, so...
Oh, I guess there was a death, because they killed Kelso.
Right, they killed the security or
engineer guy.
Yeah.
He was a gold shirt. So he gets strangled by some piping that's being telekinetically controlled.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mitchell breaks out and he convinces the doctor to join him. And then Kirk fights him kind of single-handedly-ish.
He doesn't do so much of the fighting.
Yeah.
Kirk finally changes his mind and thinks that he can't just strand Mitchell and Dr. Dinner on the planet. He has to kill them, or at least Mitchell. It's unclear what his intentions towards the female doctor are, but he takes a phaser rifle, which looked ridiculous.
It did. It looked absolutely like the phaser pistol still looked okay.
Yeah,
but the rifle looked like
it was three canisters forming a triangle.
Yeah,
which were tucked under your arm,
and it had a handle in the back.
And it had a handle in the back, and then a wand, this tiniest little piece of metal, and this weird big cone.
Yeah.
On the front, and it's like.
It reminded me a little bit of, I want to say it was the Cardassians that had a rifle that had a handle on the back, but that was really about it.
Yeah, in the future. Well, the Federation rifles did have a handle on the back, but they made it more... the Cardassians had sort of have sort of a rounded, sawed-off shotgun type handle on theirs. The Federation have a little bit because you can mount it on your shoulder. So there is a handle in the back so that you don't have to mount it. But when you do mount it on your shoulder, it takes that spot.
Okay, okay. Yeah, you're right. But we should really be looking at phasers.
It's odd to see what was so different back then.
Yeah, definitely. So things go badly in this fight between Mitchell and Kirk.
Yeah.
And Kirk ends up using the phaser rifle to drop part of a mountain on him.
Well, he convinces Dr. Dinner that what they're doing is wrong. So he's creeping up on him through this pass in the mountains, and he's creeping up on telepaths. So of course he gets, Mitchell's like, Kirk, I know you're there. Come on, don't be an idiot. And then he digs a grave for him with a swipe of his hand.
Yeah.
And Mitchell is about to drop a chunk of rock onto Kirk, who's in the grave. And then Dr. Dinner fights back using her less advanced powers to fight a guy who claims to be godlike.
Yeah.
And she drains him enough that Kirk gets Mitchell into the grave and then shoots the rock that Mitchell was going to drop on him so that it falls and kills them. And then Dr. Dinner dies because she's overexerted herself.
Yeah, it was an episode.
Yeah.
So, notable guest stars. I really like, obviously, the two people, the Gary Lockwood, who was playing Gary Mitchell, and Sally Kellerman, who was playing Dr. Dinner. I'm not familiar with either one of them. They didn't look familiar, but did you recognize them?
Only because I'd seen the episode before.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure they did things.
Gary Lockwood, he was Dr. David Poole, or Dr. Frank Poole in 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Sure, yeah.
So
yeah, they've done things in this time era that we're not familiar with, and
we've noticed that so far in a lot of these episodes. We're like, they were on all of the TV shows of this era. Yeah, it looks like Kellerman did some stuff, but nothing that I'm seeing that's like they're sticking out on top of her.
Nothing that you're recognizing yourself. Yeah. So again, they everybody in Star Trek.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
She was Hot Lips Houlihan. Hot Lips O'Houlihan.
Oh, really? In the Police Academy?
No, MASH.
MASH.
Yeah.
Really?
No, there's a very similar character in no, she's like a big she's a big star.
That's so weird. I didn't recognize her.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, we should really have noticed that. Oh well. But yeah, this wasn't her start, but this was early on for her.
Yeah.
And then she played Hot Lips O'Houlihan. So I mean, that's kind of big deal. Not that she was a big star then, but she became one.
Yeah,
so
very unrecognizable, I would have to say.
Yeah, I agree completely. So there weren't really any strange races in this.
Nope. It was just the humans and then the
unless that weird energy field was one. I don't think it was though.
That energy field is something they explore later in the movie, the motion picture.
No, that one's in the middle. The one where they go see God.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's in the middle of the universe or middle of the galaxy. They go in, not out. I'm almost positive.
I'm thinking you're confusing that with the episode where Barclay gets his brain turned into the Enterprise computer on Next Generation.
There's potential for that as well.
Yeah, that one was the center of the universe.
I also can't say that I've watched the fifth movie in a long time, and I don't really want to. So
yeah, it's not a good one.
Yeah.
It's not a good one.
Yeah. So no really strange races, although there were some strange like flora and fauna that he created on the planet, which were cool. Not as cool. You've got to go back and watch the second episode, which I'm skipping. The name is lost in me now. But there's this flower that's obviously a hand puppet. It looks awesome,
and it shoots the spines and kills the.
Nope. This one's
that's
just
a different one.
This one's when Sulu is the botanist.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Sulu's a little bit of everything in this series so far.
Yeah.
I will say this is so things that stuck out. This was the first episode that we've seen Scotty in.
Yes.
Like he wasn't in Charlie X or the one before that.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely wasn't in the cage.
Yeah.
But like nobody was in the cage.
Yeah.
So
Except Spock.
We did miss out on Yeoman Rand, no Uhura, no Bones.
Nope. Wait, are you sure Bones didn't
no
look
Bones.
him over a little bit?
Nope, no Bones. There was no.
There was another doctor though.
There was Doctor. I've got him pulled up here. Hold on. Yeah, there was another doctor, but it was not Bones. It was just a no-name actor.
Okay.
Well, yeah. And then we're also missing Chekhov, but he doesn't come until second season. So.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I was excited to see Scotty, although he didn't get a ton of lines and he wasn't a big player yet.
Right.
And Sulu was in it, but he was the
mathematician.
He was the head of the physicist department.
I thought he was the head of the math department.
Maybe.
Physics department was the other guy
Yeah.
sitting right next to him in the same shirt.
So, like Sulu is still not doing what he's supposed to be doing, I guess. So there was some strangeness there.
Yep.
But,
Again, going back to this is the second pilot.
Yep. And actually we have this pilot to thank. We have Lucille Ball to thank for this pilot.
Really?
ABC or CBS rejected the cage, said they didn't want it at all, and Lucille Ball came back and said, "You guys really need to consider this. It's something that's important. Ask for another one."
Really?
Yep. So had it not been for Lucille Ball, which I kind of
wow.
love Lucy now,
yeah,
right?
No, yeah. Saved us from the Soviets, and then saved and gave us Star Trek in a way. Yeah, that's awesome.
So I mean, there's some important stuff here in this episode, and this is as a second pilot. I like this better than The Cage. I don't know if you watched The Cage recently.
I've not recently, but a little over 2-3 years ago now.
Yeah.
I had actually not watched any of the original series before my surgery. While I was recovering, that was what I was going to watch. So I'd never really seriously watched many episodes.
Yeah.
You know, I'd seen Tribbles, I'd seen Amok Time where they introduced Ponfar, and I'd seen the one where everybody goes crazy and Sulu goes fencing down the hallway.
That's the next episode. That's the Naked Now or Naked Time. Naked Time. Naked Now is a Next Generation episode where people go crazy again
for the same reason.
Yeah.
So I'd watched some of those big classic episodes,
Yeah.
but I'd not seen many of the original series.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that same boat. I literally haven't. I can think of a couple maybe I've watched, but I know the characters from the movies,
right?
Which is not off-putting. It's strange because the last two episodes have featured Yeoman Rand, who we don't see in any of the movies. I think it's because she ends up leaving the show before the end.
She does,
but it's definitely a different crew so far, and it's been not quite right.
Yeah,
at least not for what I was expecting.
Yeah.
So anything else notable? I thought the eye thing was pretty okay.
Yeah, Silver Eyes. Do you know are the episodes on Netflix the digitally remastered ones?
I don't know.
See, do that because I wrote down here. There's the shot of them going through the barrier into the pink purple cloud. Looks really good.
Yeah. Well, actually, both that and then when they're leaving the planet at the end of the episode, that looked phenomenal. And I don't know if they're remastered.
Right, because they did that recently. They released them with some upgraded, things. Removing some of the bad.
Yeah.
Do they do green screen or blue screen?
I don't.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
They did something.
Well, they did a lot of painted stuff here too. There was some really good painted backgrounds.
Oh yeah, there were.
The background of the planet with all of the automated equipment in the background. Looked gorgeous.
Oh yeah. Which is, just why I wonder if the ones that are on Netflix are the remastered ones because they do look so good, and you would expect a little degradation.
Yeah, I didn't see anything that looked that phenomenal from the ship aspect.
No,
in
anything
the earlier
that people
episodes.
Were looking,
No, I mean like in the other episodes where we saw the ship, it looked like Star Trek. It wasn't like
so maybe it was just the artist on the
because
they were doing a second pilot. They were like, we're gonna knock it out of the park,
and that might be. But
really,
what was there anything else notable? I thought I had something, but I can't think of what it was.
Well, I have a couple notes.
Okay, go for it.
I noticed that the misogyny was on full blast.
Oh
in this one.
Yeah.
Gary Mitchell was a jerk at every turn. He
and still ended up with the lady for a minute.
Yeah. Dr. Dinner comes on board or comes on the bridge, and the first thing he does is hit on her. And when she's like, "Hey, cool it," he calls her a cooling unit.
Yeah.
She says not right now, and because she's being introduced to the captain and she's a professional and blah blah blah, and this was the 60s when psychology was still kind of seen in a weird light, so she's like, I'm trying to be professional, and he's like,
well, and then she's misogynistic. She's like, well, us professional women, we have to try harder, and I'm like, oh my god, okay.
And even at the end, she blames women for being difficult and causing men to react that way.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff that's weird. So
yeah,
that did stick out. Did you have any other?
Well, it was just instead of Yeoman Rand, we got Yeoman Smith.
That's true.
And she just had the weirdest expression on her face as they're going through the barrier for the first time. This is literally right after Dinner has rejected Mitchell. Yeoman Smith is standing next to Kirk's chair, which is right in behind the helm where Mitchell is standing. As they're going through the barrier and things are starting to get rough, Mitchell reaches back and takes Yeoman Smith's hand, and she looks so bored.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she just didn't realize that she was on camera or what was going on.
Yeah, she didn't have many lines. They were holding he was holding her arm at one point. It was just a little awkward and weird. And then Kirk moves her.
Yeah.
At another point in the episode, no, sweetie, over here.
Right.
And then that was it. That's you see her, but she doesn't really do much.
Yeah, and that's so the way he grabs onto her, it made me think okay, well, you literally just got shot down by one woman, so now you're just going to manhandle this woman that you seriously outrank.
Yeah.
It was odd.
Yeah. Definitely odd. Oh, do you have anything else on your list?
I talked about why is Spock yelling like he can't be heard. Oh yeah, another little thing when they're when Kirk is visiting Mitchell in the infirmary, they talk about how Kirk taught at the academy, which I found weird. And then Mitchell refers to some of the books that Kirk brings him that apparently aren't in the computer database already.
Yeah.
Mitchell refers to them as long-haired stuff.
Yeah.
And how it's not for him. He's a very man's man, misogynist guy. And I was like, man, this... And then the idea that this is the stuff Kirk is into just struck me as odd for the character of Kirk.
Yeah.
Because, he's usually the man's man, semi-misogynist.
There was some strange, Kirk-isms on Mitchell.
Yeah.
They were just in heavier force.
I think. And it probably just gets chalked up to the fact that it's apparently the second ever episode made.
Yeah.
So that's what we get.
well, let's go ahead and get into our reoccurring items.
Okay.
That we don't have any of.
Right.
Other than, so Spock was really logical all through. Like, I thought he was way more logical than he was in the last one where he was playing a lute and smiling about singing. So...
Is that the Eden planet?
Yeah, no, that was Charlie X,
yeah.
where Charlie comes into, like, what I assume is the tin forward of the old Enterprise.
Yeah.
And Spock is playing the lute, and Uhura starts singing.
Yeah.
But Spock has this smile on his face that's just weird.
Yeah.
It looks really, really creepy.
It does.
So,
And, yeah.
but he was really logical in this one, I have to say.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was, like, overly logical. Like, you either murder him or leave him behind.
Right.
Those are your two choices. But Bones isn't even in the episode, so we don't get any I'm a doctor not.
Right, yeah.
Kirk doesn't get the lady.
Nope.
There is one death of the Lieutenant Kelso, but there are no red shirts in this episode, so it's not a
Right.
red shirt death.
Yeah.
We are keeping a running total of deaths and by color.
Nice.
So, and then Uhura's not in the episode. She can't do anything other than answer the phone.
Yeah.
Which we found that she hits on Spock. That's what the other thing she's been doing so far.
Yeah.
Is hitting on Spock. I don't remember this at all.
No, because that actually came up in the 2009 J.J. Abrams film where Spock and Uhura together in the alternate universe. That was originally how they wrote it.
Oh, yeah?
And Shatner was like, wait, guys, no. I'm the captain. I get the ladies.
Yeah.
That's why they were the ones to share the first interracial kiss. They intended it to be Spock.
Okay. Well, because, like, Mantrap. She, like, Spock's in the commander's chair, and she walks up, she's like, so you think I'm hot, right? I mean, like, essentially she's like, yeah, you're into me, right? And he's like, well, I don't know. And, like, it was just weird, and I was like, huh. Like, and we saw some parallels between that and the 2009, so...
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I think that's kind of going to do it for the episode. What did you think? Overall?
It's a good episode.
Out of 5?
Oh, out of 5?
Yeah.
It's a 3.
Yeah.
I mean, like when you put it in the light of it was the second pilot, and they still didn't know. I mean, in the Mantrap, Leonard Nimoy was wearing, or not the Mantrap, the Cage, the very first episode ever filmed. Leonard Nimoy was wearing red tinted makeup.
Yeah.
And then and his race was actually written as angry.
Yeah.
And they made the changes to the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So like when you realize that they haven't found their stride because this is only the second episode ever filmed, the discrepancies make a lot more sense in that they just haven't found their footing. They haven't decided on actual things yet.
Yeah.
So it becomes a good episode because of that reason.
Okay.
So.
So 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
I think I have to agree. It's not a bad episode at all. I think that sets a decent bar. If all of the episodes are this good, it's a good series.
Yeah.
I know that all of them are this good, but like this sets a good solid bar for everybody to try and get at or above for every episode from now on.
Right.
I think as a second pilot, it's much better than The Cage, and I think it brings you more into the story and gets you to see more of the characters. But again, we got the same characters, so that's a huge difference all by itself.
I actually like The Cage. I don't think it's a problem.
I don't dislike The Cage, but it's not Star Trek quite right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, overall, I think it's good. So, John, where can we find you? Over on DeviantArt, right?
Fool's Mask on DeviantArt, on Twitter. G+, although, I don't get on that very often.
Yeah. And we can find you on the podcasts.
Yep. Check out nerdsdom.com on majority of the podcasts over there.
Yep. And that's nerdsdom.com/nerdcast. We do have a new page there.
Oh, do we?
Which by the time this comes out will be a very old page.
Okay.
We have something pointing right to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere else we can find you? Anywhere else you do anything exciting and spectacular? Nothing?
Not at the moment.
Now that I've said that, I'm going to put you on the spot with no idea what I asked you for. So, all right. We will talk to you real soon.
And that'll do us tonight for
There Are 4 Lights.
Remember, you can email us at thereare4lightspodcast@gmail.com or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/nerdsdomain, on Twitter at nerdsdomain, or over at our site, nerdsdom.com. Be sure to sign up for the newsletter while you're there. You can head over to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. A big thanks to 5 Year Mission for their music. You can find them at 5yearmission.net. Don't forget you can support us at patreon.com/nerdsdomain. And check out our shirts at /loot.